Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me on your channel today. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to share my story. Before I start, I just want to say, dear ladies watching this, please write in the comments what city you're from, where you're listening from. I really need your support right now, and knowing there are people out there who understand would mean the world to me. My name is Jennifer. I'm 42 years old and I live in the suburbs of Boston, Massachusetts. I work as a financial consultant. On paper, my life looks pretty good. Stable career, nice apartment, good friends. But there's something I've been carrying inside me for 15 years. A secret. A weight that's been crushing me slowly, day by day. And 3 months ago, I finally did something about it. Something that everyone in my family now calls unforgivable. Something that has made me the villain in a story where I was supposed to be the victim. But let me start from the beginning, from the day my life fell apart the first time. I was 27 years old, young, happy, in love. I had just gotten promoted at the bank where I worked as an analyst. I was renting an apartment in Cambridge, saving for a down payment on a house, and most importantly, I was engaged to the man of my dreams. His name was Brad. We met in college, dated for 6 years. He was perfect. I know that sounds cliché, but it's true. Tall, funny, ambitious. He worked at an architectural firm, dreamed of starting his own business someday. We planned our future together. House, kids, dog, white picket fence, the whole movie scenario. He proposed on Valentine's Day. Waterfront restaurant, view of the harbor, diamond ring he'd been picking out for 3 months. I cried from happiness, called my parents that same second. Mom cried with me. Dad said he always knew Brad was the one. We set the wedding for October, 8 months to prepare. I ordered my dress. We booked a venue in Newport, sent out save the dates. 200 guests, the huge event I'd been dreaming about since childhood. And I had a younger sister, Emily. Emily is 5 years younger than me. She was always special, beautiful. You know those girls who understand their power over men from childhood? That was her. Long blonde hair, blue eyes, model figure. In high school, every guy chased after her. In college, she was campus royalty. But Emily was also always unstable. She changed majors every semester, dropped out of 3 different colleges, worked as a bartender, then a yoga instructor, then at a boutique. Nothing serious. Our parents worried but always defended her. Emily is finding herself. Emily is a creative spirit. Not everyone needs to be a career-focused person, and I was the career-focused one. Serious, responsible, boring Jennifer, who did everything right. Studied hard, worked late, saved money. Mom praised me, but I could see she loved Emily more. Emily was the sunshine of the family. Whatever. I wasn't bitter. Not too much, anyway. After my engagement, Emily was thrilled. She hugged me, squealed, asked to see the ring from every angle. I asked her to be my maid of honor. She agreed, cried, said it was an honor. The next few months passed in a whirlwind of preparation. Dress fittings, cake tastings, meetings with florists. Emily came to everything with me. Helped choose flowers, argued with the decorator about shades of peach. We became closer than we'd ever been. I was happy. Finally, we had a real sisterly relationship. Brad was involved in everything too. Came to catering meetings, gave opinions about music. Sometimes the 3 of us, me, Brad, and Emily, went to dinner after another wedding-related appointment. We laughed, joked, made plans. Perfect trio. I didn't notice. God, how did I not notice? A month before the wedding, something changed. Brad became distant, called less. Said he had a lot of work, big project, deadline. When we saw each other, he was distracted. Looked at his phone, answered in monosyllables. I blamed stress. Weddings are stressful for everyone. Plus, work. Plus, his parents were coming from San Diego. He was nervous about that. Emily got strange, too. Canceled meetings at the last minute. Didn't answer messages for days. When I asked if everything was okay, she brushed it off. Tired. Work problems. Nothing serious. 3 weeks before the wedding, Brad said we needed to talk. I remember that evening in the smallest details. July evening, humid. The air smelled of jasmine from the neighbor's bush. We sat on a bench in a park near my house. Brad stared at the ground. He said he couldn't marry me. Just like that. Can't marry me. Wedding in 3 weeks, everything paid for, guests already buying plane tickets, and he can't marry me. I went numb, literally. Sat there and couldn't move. He kept talking. Something about us being too young, about him not being sure, about maybe it being a mistake to get married so early, that he needed time to think. I found my voice and asked, "You want to postpone the wedding?" He shook his head. Not postpone, cancel. 3 weeks before the event, 200 guests, $30,000 already spent, part mine, part my parents'. The dress hanging in my closet, shoes bought, bouquet ordered. I asked why. What happened? What did I do wrong? He said I didn't do anything wrong. It's not about me, it's about him. He's not ready. Classic breakup lines. I've heard them all. But then he said something else. Something that made my blood run cold. He said he met someone else. He didn't plan it. It just happened. He tried to fight it, but he can't anymore. He's in love with someone else. The world stopped spinning. I asked who. Who is she? The pause lasted an eternity. Then he said, Emily, my sister, my maid of honor, my little sister who I asked to help plan my wedding. I remember laughing. Hysterical, high-pitched laughter. Because it had to be a joke, right? Some kind of sick prank. He couldn't be serious. But he was serious. His face was serious. His eyes were serious. He said it started 2 months ago. They didn't mean for it to happen. They fought it. But the feelings were too strong. They're in love. He's sorry. He never wanted to hurt me. But he slept with my sister while I was picking out flowers for our wedding. I stood up. Don't remember standing. But suddenly I was standing, and my legs were shaking so hard I could barely stay upright. I said something. I don't remember what. Maybe I screamed. Maybe I just walked away. It's all a blur. I drove home somehow. Don't remember the drive. Dangerous, probably. I got to my apartment, went inside, closed the door, and collapsed on the floor. I stayed there for hours. Couldn't move. Couldn't cry. Couldn't think. Just lay on the floor and stared at the ceiling. Around midnight, my phone started ringing. Mom. I didn't answer. She called 5 more times, then Dad called. Then Emily. Emily. The audacity of that girl to call me. I turned off my phone. The next morning, Mom and Dad showed up at my door. They looked devastated. Apparently Brad had called them. Told them everything. They knew. Mom hugged me. I stood there like a statue. She was crying. I wasn't. Couldn't. Dad said they would handle everything. Cancel the venue, return the deposits where possible, notify the guests. I didn't have to do anything, just rest. I asked where Emily was. Mom's face crumpled. She said Emily was at their house. She wanted to see me, to explain. I laughed again. Same hysterical laugh. Explain what? How she seduced my fiancé. How they fell in love while trying on bridesmaid dresses. Dad said we needed to talk as a family. Work through this. We're family. Family stays together. I said no. I never want to see Emily again. Mom cried harder. Said we can't let this destroy our family. That Emily made a mistake. That she's young and confused. That Brad is the real villain here. He was the one engaged. He should have known better. And there it was. The beginning of the narrative that would define the next 15 years. Emily was young and confused. Brad was the villain, and I needed to be understanding, forgiving, mature. I told them to leave. The next few weeks were hell, pure, undiluted hell. Canceling everything, returning things, calling guests, the humiliation of explaining why the wedding was off. Some people were sympathetic. Others were curious, gossipy. I could see it in their eyes. They wanted details. I took 2 weeks off work. Couldn't function, lost 10 pounds, stopped sleeping. My friend Sarah came over every day with food I didn't eat. Emily tried to call 20 times. I blocked her number. She came to my apartment. I didn't open the door. She left notes. I threw them away without reading. Brad tried to reach me too. I blocked him too. Mom called every day, begging me to come home, to talk to Emily, to let her explain. Emily was devastated. Emily couldn't eat. Emily was suffering too. Emily was suffering. The girl who stole my fiancé was suffering, and I was supposed to care. I told Mom I needed time. She said she understood, but I could hear the disappointment in her voice. I was being difficult, unreasonable, cruel even. 2 months after the canceled wedding, Mom called with news. Emily and Brad were getting married. 2 months after destroying my life, they were getting married. Mom said they wanted to do it quietly, just immediate family, at the courthouse. They hoped I would come. For family unity. I hung up on her. They got married in September. I didn't go. Spent that day alone in my apartment, drinking wine and looking at photos from college. Photos of me and Emily as kids, me braiding her hair, her in my graduation gown, pretending to be grown up, her hugging me when I got my first job, my little sister, who stabbed me in the back. The family pressure started in earnest after that. Thanksgiving was coming. Mom insisted I come home. We needed to move past this. Time to heal. Family is family. I said no. Mom cried. Dad got on the phone, said I was being stubborn, that holding grudges would only hurt me, that Emily and Brad were married now, it was done, I needed to accept it and move on. Move on, as if it was that simple. But they wore me down. Week after week of calls, guilt trips, emotional manipulation. You're tearing this family apart. Your sister misses you. We can't have holidays without you. So I went to Thanksgiving, walked into my childhood home and saw them, Emily and Brad, sitting on the couch, her head on his shoulder, his arm around her waist. They stood up when they saw me. Emily started crying immediately, said she was so sorry, that she never meant to hurt me, that it just happened, that she loved him so much. She loved him so much. That was supposed to make it better. Brad said nothing, just looked at the floor. Coward. Mom pushed me forward, said we should hug, put it behind us, be sisters again. I hugged Emily. Her body felt wrong, foreign, like hugging a stranger, that Thanksgiving was torture, everyone pretending everything was fine, making small talk, avoiding the elephant in the room. I left right after dinner. Mom was disappointed but didn't say anything. That became the pattern. Holidays at my parents' house, Emily and Brad there, everyone pretending, me smiling with my teeth clenched. Mom kept saying, "One day you'll forgive her. Time heals everything." But time didn't heal anything. Every holiday was a fresh wound, watching them. Brad's hand on her lower back, Emily laughing at his jokes, the casual intimacy that should have been mine. A year after their wedding, Emily got pregnant. Mom called me, excited. I was going to be an aunt. Wasn't that wonderful? I said congratulations and hung up. Emily had a boy, then a girl, then another boy. 3 kids in 5 years. Mom posted photos constantly on Facebook. Beautiful family, beautiful house, beautiful life. The life that should have been mine. But here's the thing. I moved on the surface at least, got promoted twice, started dating again, had a couple of relationships, one lasted 2 years, another 3. They didn't work out for various reasons. Not because I was hung up on Brad. I wasn't. I genuinely wasn't. I was hung up on the betrayal, on the injustice, on the fact that Emily got everything and suffered nothing. Because she didn't suffer. Everyone forgave her immediately. Mom, Dad, aunts, uncles, cousins. Everyone said the same thing. She and Brad fell in love. These things happen. We can't help who we love. And me? I was expected to be gracious, understanding, the bigger person. For 15 years, I was the bigger person. Went to holidays, smiled at Emily's kids, brought presents, played the role of the cool aunt, listened to Emily talk about her life, her struggles with motherhood, her problems with Brad. Yes, she vented to me about her problems with him, as if I was her therapist, and I nodded, sympathized, gave advice, all while something dark grew inside me, something cold and patient. I never forgot, never forgave, just learned to hide it better. 3 months ago, I did something I'm not proud of, something calculated, something cold. I hired a private investigator to follow Brad. Why? Because I needed to know if he was happy, if their marriage was as perfect as it looked on Facebook, if Emily got her happily ever after while I got nothing. The investigator worked for 3 weeks, came back with a folder full of photos and reports. Brad was having an affair, had been for 6 months, with a 29-year-old woman named Chelsea. She was a marketing consultant. They met at a conference. The photos were damning. Hotels, restaurants. His car parked at her apartment building overnight. Everything I needed. I stared at those photos for hours. Brad, cheating on Emily, the same way he cheated on me with Emily. Poetic justice, the universe delivering karma. But Emily didn't know. She had no idea. She posted happy family photos on Instagram, talked about their perfect marriage at family dinners. I had a choice. Tell her or don't tell her. For 2 weeks, I debated, wrestled with myself. Part of me wanted to protect her. She was still my sister, despite everything, and her kids, my nephews and niece, would be devastated. But another part of me, the part that had been quiet for 15 years, said she deserves this. She deserves to feel what you felt. I made my decision. I printed out the photos, all of them, put them in an envelope, wrote Emily's name on it, no return address, and I mailed it to her house. Then I waited. 2 days later, my phone exploded. Emily called 15 times in a row. Mom called, Dad called, even Brad called. I didn't answer any of them. That evening, Mom showed up at my apartment. Her face was red from crying. She said Emily was hysterical. Brad had confessed everything. Emily found the photos, confronted him. He broke down. They were getting divorced. Mom asked if I knew anything about the photos. Who could have sent them? I said I had no idea. Maybe the other woman's boyfriend? Maybe someone from Brad's office? Mom nodded, seemed to accept it. Then she said, Emily needs you. She's your sister. Whatever happened in the past, she needs you now. I said I would call her. I didn't. Another week passed. The family drama escalated. Brad moved out. Emily was devastated. The kids were confused. Emily's perfect life was crumbling, and I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no guilt, just numbness. Then Emily showed up at my door. She looked terrible. No makeup, swollen eyes, hair unwashed. She fell into my arms and sobbed. Great, heaving sobs that shook her whole body. She said Brad destroyed her, betrayed her, after everything they'd been through. After 15 years, 3 kids, a life together. She said, now I understand how you felt when we did this to you. God, Jennifer, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was young and stupid and selfish. I didn't understand what I was taking from you, but now I do. Now I understand. 15 years. It took 15 years for her to apologize properly. We sat on my couch. She cried. I held her, and I felt something crack inside me. Maybe it was compassion. Maybe it was the remnants of sisterly love. She asked, who sent me those photos? Do you think it was Chelsea, trying to blow up his life? And I opened my mouth. I was going to lie. Say I don't know. Comfort her. Let her believe it was someone else. But instead, I said, I sent them. The crying stopped. Emily pulled back, stared at me. I said it again. I sent them. I hired an investigator. I found out about the affair, and I sent you the proof. Her face went through several emotions, confusion, disbelief, then understanding, then horror. She whispered, you did this? You knew and you wanted me to find out this way? I said yes. She asked why. I said, because you destroyed my life 15 years ago and never paid for it. Everyone forgave you. Everyone moved on. Everyone except me. I've been smiling through family dinners for 15 years while you paraded my life in front of me. Your husband, your kids, your perfect life. It was supposed to be mine, and you took it. Emily's face crumpled. She said, "That was 15 years ago. I was 22. I made a mistake," I said. "And now you know how it feels." She stood up, backed away from me, said, "You're a monster. You destroyed my marriage. You destroyed my family. My kids are suffering because of you." I said, "Brad destroyed your marriage. I just showed you the truth." She said, "You waited. You waited for the perfect moment to hurt me. That's sick. That's psychotic." Then she left, slammed the door so hard my walls shook. Within an hour, my phone started ringing. Mom, Dad, my Aunt Susan, my cousin Mike. Emily had told everyone that I sent the photos, that I orchestrated the whole thing, that I destroyed her life out of revenge. And the family turned on me. Mom called me spiteful, vindictive, said I held on to grudges like poison, that I let bitterness destroy me. Dad said I went too far, that revenge is never the answer, that I should be ashamed. My aunt said I was cruel, that Emily's kids are traumatized, that I prioritized hurting Emily over protecting 3 innocent children. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone condemned me. Only one person stayed quiet, my grandmother. She's 89, still sharp as a tack. She called me 3 days after the explosion. She said, "Did you do it?" I said, "Yes." She was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "Good." I started crying. First time I'd cried through this whole thing. Grandma said, "That girl took something precious from you and never paid the price. Everyone let her off easy because she's pretty and charming. But actions have consequences. She learned that now. Maybe too late, but she learned." I asked, "Am I a monster?" Grandma said, "No. You're human. Humans aren't saints. We hurt and we bleed, and sometimes we hurt back. Don't let them make you feel evil for being human." But Grandma is the only one who feels that way. The rest of my family has essentially disowned me. Emily won't speak to me. Mom calls once a week to tell me how disappointed she is. Dad hasn't called at all. My cousins unfriended me on Facebook. Last week was Emily's birthday. Family party at my parents' house. I wasn't invited. Thanksgiving is next month. I already know I won't be welcome. I'm alone now, officially cut off from my family, the villain in the story. And I keep asking myself, was it worth it? Did getting revenge make me feel better? The honest answer? I don't know. I don't regret exposing Brad. He was a cheater. Emily deserved to know. That's factual. But I do regret the method, the anonymity, the coldness. I could have told her face to face, could have given her the information with compassion. Instead, I did it in the cruelest way possible. Because I wanted her to hurt, and she did hurt. She's still hurting. Her kids are confused and sad. Her life is in chaos. She had to move back in with our parents. She's starting over at 40. I did that. Me. Some people in my life say I was justified, that Emily had it coming, that karma is real and she got hers. Others say I'm vindictive and cruel, that 15 years should have been enough time to heal and move on, that I damaged 3 children's lives to settle a score. I don't know who's right. Maybe everyone, maybe no one. What I do know is this. Revenge doesn't feel the way I thought it would. It doesn't feel satisfying. It doesn't feel like closure. It feels empty, like I burned down a bridge and I'm standing in the ashes wondering why I lit the match. So I'm asking you, everyone watching this, am I the villain here? Did I go too far? Or did Emily get what she deserved? Please write in the comments. I need to know if I'm crazy, if I'm a terrible person, or if somewhere out there, someone understands why I did what I did. And ladies, please write your city in the comments too. I want to know where all of you are from. I need to feel less alone in this. Thank you for listening to my story.